Well, g'day and welcome back. Been a little while since I've done a video, but gearing up to get back into more regular videos for you again on all the different topics that people have problems with and people struggle with in regards to developing their better results when it comes to their fitness, health, and life in general. So one of the big things that has been a common trend throughout the entire time that I've coached people has been people's focus on the small issues and not looking at the bigger picture. So what I mean by this is that when it comes to especially things like nutrition and fitness, there's really a few fundamental things that you need to implement. And what people like to do for a variety of reasons, a lot of these reasons are procrastination. A lot of these reasons are not wanting to face the reality of what needs to be done. But when you look at it, so if we look at, say, nutrition, we can argue back and forth forever about what is the most optimal diet and whether we should be eating, certain carbohydrates over others. Is brown rice a better carbohydrate source than white rice? Should we be adding salt to our food? Getting into all these little details about what are the best and most ideal ways to do things. But the most important thing and the most crucial part of nutrition at its most fundamental level is energy balance. And there's a whole lot of other things that are obviously important. There's a whole lot of other things that are going to make a difference. Nutrition, vitamins, minerals, all those other things. But for the goals most people have, and the biggest problem that most people have, really fundamentally comes down to energy balance. It comes down to over-consuming energy in the form of food calories. And so this is done in a variety of ways, of course, because people eat a whole lot of different foods. But whether or not you're carnivore, whether you're vegan, whether you're vegetarian, whether you eat everything, you can get results on any of these diets. You can get really good outcomes on any of these diets. You don't have to be so dogmatic to a certain approach and think that, the only way I'm going to lose weight is if I go carnivore. The only way I'm going to get healthy is if I go vegan. These are missing the most crucial parts. And people tend to use this as a way to latch on to a lot of other things that get away from the fact that they're probably just going to have to eat less food. They're probably going to have to work out a way to consume less food in their diet. And they want to use having a carnivore diet or a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet, whatever it might be, to basically procrastinate away the real fundamentals. And the same thing is very much true of exercise, fitness, and the same situation happens where the focus is so much on, what is the optimal workout program? Should I be doing a body part split of, biceps one day and this thing another day and all these other things when they're not even working out on a regular basis? So if you're someone who's never worked out before, or you're someone who's never really done a whole lot, worrying too much about the individual things that you're doing is far less important than you getting into the habit of doing it in the first place and spending at least 30 minutes every day doing some form of movement. That's the most fundamental aspect. And then once you get that down, once you have that as part of your life, then you can start to look into these, more advanced kind of topics and start to develop a program that's more suitable to the exact goals that you might have. So when you're approaching your fitness, approaching your health, always remember that there are fundamental concepts that are really going to drive 90% of the results. And what most people out there, what most people focus on, and what a lot of the marketing and the tactics are focusing on, is these quick fix ideas, these ideas of these small things that realistically for most people aren't going to have a big impact. The biggest impact for most people would be to move more, be making sure that they're moving every day as a starter, and to work out ways to consume less energy overall. Those two things alone will be halfway to getting a result. And if you can consistently work on gradually building those better behaviors, then you won't need to worry so much about the nitty gritty, and you shouldn't be until you've actually got them locked in. So focus on fundamentals, forget about the minutia, focus on the things that matter, and make sure that you're, approaching your fitness and health with the fundamentals in mind. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about this topic, and if you have any other questions related to other topics, make sure you let me know so I can do a video for you.